There is a new federal court case that threatens the continuing existence of affirmative action. The name affirmative action was coined by President John F. Kennedy in 1961 when he signed an executive order. Affirmative action promotes the education and employment of groups previously held back by discrimination. Those who oppose affirmative action say the policy doesn't fight discrimination. In fact, it promotes it and makes it legal. And that is exactly the issue being argued in Students for Fair Admission versus Harvard. The group claims that Asian Americans are being discriminated against by Harvard in order to get more Latino and Black students into the university. The court records show that Asian American students must score much higher in SATs than any other ethnic group to get in. Now, Harvard doesn't deny that race is a priority in their application process. In fact, they embrace it. In court documents, they argue that they're a private university that has a weighty academic freedom interest protected by the First Amendment in choosing its students. In other words, we're Harvard, and we'll accept anyone or not accept anyone we feel like, so back off. There's one teeny little problem with that argument. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 that prohibits discrimination for race, color, or national origin for any program or activity that receives federal funding or any federal financial assistance. So, as long as Harvard gets money from the federal government, the feds get a say in their acceptance policy, and Harvard receives hundreds of millions of dollars in financial aid and federal grants every single year. Which brings us to Hillsdale College in Michigan. Founded in 1844, that's the same year that the Civil War broke out. It was founded by a group of people who wanted to abolish slavery. And because of that, they've always had a policy to accept all students, irrespective of nation, color, or sex. Hillsdale is very proud of its long history of colorblind admissions. For instance, in 1955, the Hillsdale football team was undefeated and invited to play in the Tangerine Bowl, only they were told the Black players couldn't make the trip to Orlando. And so they turned down the invitation. And then in 1970, the federal government instructed Hillsdale that they would have to end their acceptance policy or they would no longer be eligible for federal assistance and their students could not accept federal loans. So Hillsdale was told by the federal government that they could no longer be colorblind in their admission policy. They would have to accept some students because of the color of their skin and turn down other students because of the color of their skin. And that's when Hillsdale did something remarkable. They felt so deeply about their admission policy, they turned down all federal money, including student loans, which is difficult for a small college to do. Harvard, on the other hand, has an endowment of $39 billion, which is larger than the gross domestic product of many countries. Hillsdale and Harvard are different in so many ways. Harvard believes that race should be considered in the application process. Hillsdale believes it shouldn't be considered at all. But Hillsdale believes so much in that core principle that they are willing to turn down tens of millions of dollars in federal aid. Harvard could simply and easily do the same. Turn down federal money, and then they can accept or turn away whoever they want. Instead, they are going forward with a case that will undoubtedly go to the Supreme Court and threaten affirmative action, something Harvard claims they believe deeply in. But it seems at Harvard, their principles come with a price tag. I'm Larry Menti. Talk to you again soon.